What's good, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Harmon Jr. Please feel free to find me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media. Guess what, people? We finally made it. The end of Pokemon month. For all my viewers who care nothing of Pokemon, you wrote it out. Maybe you didn't. Don't know. But we have reached the end. Unless on, February 27th, Pokemon Day announces something huge. We might have a bonus episode for Pokemon Month, so apologies in advance. But we're here, and guess what? We're ending it with a surprise guest. It is the one, the only, Jared Fradette, people. Woo! And just in case you're one of the few newcomers to the show, Jared is the OG co-host of Full Circle Podcast. He was here for 100+ episodes. He has, since then gone on to greener pastures, but he is back to talk about something we both love to talk about, and that's Pokemon. How are you doing today, Jared?
Pretty good. It's been a good day for me, so I'm feeling ready to talk about Pokemon.
That's what I like to hear. And Jared, just in case the people at home don't know, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Jared Fradette. My real-life profession is I work in a laboratory as a science technician. They can find me at Toonbailo, Toonbailo. I talk about nerdy things sometimes.
Yes, people, sometimes. Not all the time. But Jared is also a fellow Pokemon master. Don't get it twisted. He has participated in the PAX Pokemon League as a leader several times. And, he's your grass Pokemon expert. So, there you go. Well, people, we finally made it to the end, like I said. And today, we're going to be talking about the future of Pokemon in a blasé way. Just kind of like, where's it going? What do we want? What does it mean? And primarily, we're going to be talking about Pokemon spin-offs. So all the games that's not a core title. And for clarification, for this episode, we will just treat Arceus as a non-main title. Yes, it's a core title, people. Nintendo has said this, but you know what I mean when I say core. We're talking about colors, letters, items you fight with, the whole duel system. So you can save your comments. Yes, it's a core title, yada yada yada. You can even go ahead and call it Gen 9 if you want to. It's not, but just for the sake of the argument. So I'm gonna start this off by saying, Jared, real quick, just off the top of your head, just be in the moment. What's your favorite Pokemon spin-off game? It doesn't matter from what era. Which one comes to mind?
This is probably high nostalgia talking, but Pokemon Coliseum. All the stupid little mini games were like, they spoke to me on a level that maybe they shouldn't have. They just I was like, yes. I think what got to me is the mini games that's as an adult now looking back, they were impossible, but as a kid, I believed I could do it. And just fountain of hope.
I mean, no, that's fair. I mean, usually, that's the answers you get. You'll get Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Trading Card Game, Coliseum, Gale of Darkness, all that stuff. Occasionally you'll get someone that says Pokémon Tournament, and I'll be like, okay, you like things.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon has a storied history with spinoffs because, if you really look, even since the beginning, we like to think of things like Pokémon Tournament, like I said, Pokemon Ranger, now Arceus, again, for the sake of the argument. And, even one could even make a case that, Let's Go is a spinoff. Of course, you have Pokemon Go and things of that nature. But it's real, like I said, since the beginning, we've always kind of had Pokemon spinoff games. Even before Pokemon, I think, was something of that level, because I think I had a friend that loved Pokemon Pinball, and that was just a game he loved. And I think the thing that's interesting about Pokemon games when you compare it to most series that have spinoffs, they're all kind of quality. Similar to Pokemon, everybody has their favorite spinoff, and everyone's right in a certain a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so and as we go on, what? Oh.
I was going to say, except for those people whose favorite spinoff are the CD games that you could get in cereal boxes, those are just trash.
Those are trash. I actually forgot those existed.
Yeah.
That might as well say your favorite Pokemon game is those. I don't know what do you call those things, Jerry? It's filled with water and you press the button, but it just sends up a puff of air. You gotta get the rings on Yeah, I'm
So
like,
they,
I might be dating myself. Like, someone's probably like, what is he talking about?
I,
They're
I
made to
always
look
call
like a little
them,
fake Game Boy.
yeah, I always call them like little travel games. Like you give them to kids or like things you'd get at the dentist office. Like, oh, you're such a good lad. Get a toy from the bin. It's like, oh boy, bubble shooter.
There we go. I'm gonna call them bubble shooters because that's literally what they were. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of me that enjoyed it. It was like, all right, let me get the rings on the spokes. I've done that.
It had a wonderful simplicity, like ball and cup. Can you get the ball in the cup? Ball and cup.
That's it. You see, people, we didn't need all these bells and whistles nowadays. And so I guess my question to you, Jared, is now it's just like, how legitimate are Pokemon spinoffs now? Like, they've touched, not every genre, but other genres. And do you think the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, approaches this as, let's make a quick buck and stick to something, or are they actually interested? Because as we've seen, some of these games may never get a sequel, but they're all, well made in their own regard.
Ooh, that's a good. How legitimate are they? Oh, that's such a deep question, though.
Right?
Mostly because I still have other ones pinging around my head that I'm like, they aren't so legitimate. Um, like, okay, Magic Card Jump. Is that legitimate? But I don't know, like your Unites, your Quests, your Snaps, your Arceus, Pokemon Go, obviously. Those are pretty legitimate, which I guess those all do tend to be like more here in the modern days versus like some of the older games. I don't know. Yes, like they have gained more reputation and more weight, I think, as of late. Especially because like the new games, I think, are really trying to actually hit the broader audiences.
Mm-hmm.
So, people who aren't necessarily looking to catch them all. So yeah, it's like okay, I'll agree that they've gained legitimacy.
And I'm so happy you said Magic Card Jump, because I actually found this out on one of the previous shows for Pokemon Month, that in Magic Card Jump, similar to Spinda, no two Magikarps are alike. They all have a different koi fish like pattern.
In Magic Card Jump or in the actual game?
In Magic Card Jump.
Okay, I was gonna say I've looked at a lot of Magic Card.
No, not
in Joe too many times.
No, in Magic Card Jump specifically, no two Magikarp are the same. Or, if they are, like, the mathematical possibility is, like, some absurdly high number.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's the things like that to where the spin-off games always get me a little bit, because it's like Magikarp Jump. It's simple, but then you put that little extra effort into it that's just like, you didn't have to go that far, but you did for some strange reason. Even in games like Pokemon Conquest, it's weird because they usually create these games and they're just kind of one-off, but the ones that are really good, like if you look at Pokemon Tournament, it got its remake, Pokemon Tournament DX, but people have been claiming a sequel for that game. Pokemon Snap, people wanted a sequel for that. Pokemon Conquest, people wanted a sequel for that. I mean, we did get a sequel for Pokemon Snap, 2 decades later?
As I say, is this new one not a sequel? Question mark. It's like a the Suicide Squad. It's the Pokemon Snap.
I hate the naming convention of the word new, because I'm just like, it will not be new just at some point. Like, it just won't be.
Right.
And it's just a bad naming convention. All right, people, fun side story. I went to go buy the new Mario Party at Walmart the other day, and I bought Super Mario Party instead of Mario Party Superstars, and it felt like a just complete idiot when I got home. Like, that was like a gamer with a lowercase g move right there. And I didn't realize, like, luckily Walmart gave me my money back, but I was just like, wait.
You were your own grandparent that misheard what you wanted. And so it's like, my grandson says he wants the new Dune book, but you asked for Doom Eternal, and just kind of like blurs in every direction.
In my defense, it was late. It was like 9, but it was late because they closed the electronics department at like 10. So I run there, and it's like, the new releases section, and I swear it was Arceus, like Mario 3D All Stars, some other, newish Switch. Oh, Metroid, Dread, and then it had like Mario Party, like next to those. And in my mind, I was just like, I was just like, oh, Mario Party, cool, yeah, that one. And then I didn't stop to think, like, oh no, this is the Mario Party with the almost similar name that came out before. You need to slow down and look at the name. But fun fact, when I went to go back and I tried to just exchange it, they actually didn't have Mario Party Superstars in stock. So who's really to blame here? Me, but
I say definitely when you're describing that scenario, I'm like whoever was stocking the shelves knew exactly what they were doing, and they stocked that there on purpose.
So yeah, I was just like, hey, Mario Party. Okay, in my defense, Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars is only differentiated by the word stars.
I say that's real close, real close.
But disaster averted. And then I went to GameStop across the street, and their systems were down, so I still did not have the new Mario Party.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'll be all right. All right, so back to the topic, Jared. So let's be real.
Okay.
So, Game Freak Pokemon Company.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they view all their spin-off titles as, regardless how good they are, let's just say they put effort and time, it's just these are just solo projects, and you just think their design philosophy is they just have no desire to continue these things regardless of success? Like their main focus is always going to be mainline series and then fun side projects that have a period, the end at the end of them.
Yes. I'm going to say yes. Like, again, like looking at the long history of like all the spin-offs, like, sometimes they get spin-offs or sequels, excuse me. But most of the time it's kind of like, here's the thing to keep the fans like palate moist in between each of the core series. It's like, just here, have something. Like, I'm not saying they don't care. They're not being lazy. They don't not care, but obviously it's a side project for them.
And I mean, Pokemon's one of those IPs where I'm just like, it's kind of fun. Like, I don't know why. They're just kind of fun and quirky. Like you said, we've talked to this at nauseam. There's so many ways to be a trainer or enjoy Pokemon that, nothing is wrong. But I know you've been looking forward to Pokemon Sleep, even though we haven't got it, and it's been MIA.
Right, like, that's the one that I was planning to, like, absolutely 100% and master. Like, I was going to be the best at sleeping, and people are going to be like, you can't make a career out of sleeping. I'm like, oh, watch me. I'm going to do it. But yeah, it's funny that, like, it just, I mean, I know, COVID happened, but it's just, we've heard absolutely nothing about it. And it's funnier, too, because, like, when you search, like, other spin-off games, it's like, oh, yeah, spin-off games, Unite, Go, Arceus, Sleep. I'm like, it still populates in Google, and I'm like, nobody would have blamed the Pokemon Company if it just kind of, like, silently went away. But it's still just, like, right here in the peripheral, and it's like, okay, I guess that's on the docket?
Question mark? It's my thing with Sleep is I just want to know what it is. Like it told us like you sleep, it tracks, your Pokemon evolves or goes on quest, or it's one of those things. Like I really want to know what this is. Like I get the premise, I think, but I want to see this in action.
You know what? We should have known that Sleep was going to be doomed when they shut down the Black and White Dream World. That's where we knew. That's where we really just knew that where Pokemon's like priorities laid here. Just gonna shut that down. Shut the servers down. Go dark on that.
You know what's funny about the Dream World is that it was the most convoluted thing ever, because unless you hacked the game, you couldn't even get, like, I'm just gonna throw out like well over 50% of the Pokemon's hidden abilities. Like, they existed. You could look them up on Cerebi. Like, the code was there. The information, but, like, the access just was... And I swear, it was, like, there was an event where you could get, like, the EVs, and if you missed, like, that small window, that was it.
I've got a tangent and a question.
All right.
So, long time ago, like one of the last times I was a PAX leader, I was trying to get Excadrill with its hidden ability, and the last time it was like available with that was the Dream World. So I was like, guess never getting that. Um, and then so I mean that's not really much of a tangent as an anecdote, but it was so like it was in that weird period of time where it's like you could in theory like tie everything together. Speaking of like side things, we should talk about like Pokemon Home, but it's just like to get this to this to this to this. Like I need to move from this gen to breed in this gen to battle in. It was such a mess. But yeah, it's like it was so frustrating how many things were locked behind Dream World, and especially now that it's just been like shut down. I mean, I guess I haven't gone back to look to see what's the current way of getting the hidden ability, but it was a nightmare.
Oh,
So
yeah.
okay, but I was gonna say, but here's my question: did you have one of the Nintendo approved Bluetooth enabled Wi-Fi USB sticks?
That just sounds like a definite hell no.
Because it was like, you know, the DSs could connect to the internet, but it was always kind of like spotty and sketchy. So like, you remember what I'm talking about, though,
Yeah,
right?
I remember what you're talking about. I definitely did
Yes.
not have one.
It was like, so I went out and like bought it from Toys R Us, and I was like, I need this thing because I need a strong connection for like the Dream World. It was just like, and the whole thing lasted for maybe like a year, maybe
Who
before
knows?
right. It was such a
So my
so
anecdote tangent about the Dream World is, so even if you acquired a Pokemon with a hidden ability, let's say you somehow did it right, because you could do it wrong, because believe me, I did it wrong every single time. Like, but okay, so breeding, it was like the mother. So okay, I don't know if it was the mother or father, but let's just say one. I think it was the father, because that would have made it harder. Yeah. So I think the father had to have the hidden ability for it to pass down, which, you know, then made it infinitely harder to breed. Because I remember the breeding comp was like, if it's the mother, cool, you know, because it's the same as her. But if it's the father, then, you know, oh boy, you're in for a good old time there. But yeah, I remember trying to breed hidden abilities was just like, you needed like the grace of God for it to happen. And I remember, you know, this was like not the olden days of the internet, but information wasn't as readily available as today.
real sketchy. Yeah.
And so I remember people just being like, bro, this is how you do it. This is how you don't do it. And me just being like, man, because this was fun, Jared. For those who battled competitively, this was the fun era of broken ass hidden abilities. Like damn near, oh, you're going against what is it? Vaporeon with hydration. Oh yeah, good luck. You lost. You have lost. You know, this was back when infinite rain and weather was a thing. You know, they have a hidden ability Politoed with a hidden ability Vaporeon. Yeah, you've lost. That's the match. The rain will not stop. This Vaporeon will rest. You can't one shot a Vaporeon, so it like I remember like I had a friend that had a hydration Vaporeon and like I lost every battle. It'd be like, okay, I'm gonna thunder it. Okay, that's half health. Okay, it went to rest. Okay, now it's I can't win. I can't win.
Woof.
And then just other broken mechanics, but you know this makes me think. So considering and I'm not counting Pokemon Go as a game that gets attention because one, it doesn't. It's a we've talked about this before. It's a bad game that barely functions. It functions just good enough.
As I say, it's gotten better. I could do a whole rant on the current annoying battle tournament, the Battle League. The fact that like the Masters League, it's like, yeah, it's absolutely no cap. I'm like, okay, but some trainers are level 50, and so the no cap means like they have like 5,000, 6,000 level Pokemon. That's not a tournament. That's just a slaughter.
Well, Jared,
But
the bracket is called Masters. Get your game up.
uh,
Oh no, I'm kidding. There's problems. Okay, how about this? The game was very bad for a long time, And it took up until current day for it to be where one could argue should have been like it's within its first year baseline.
Right. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, but it makes money. But I'm looking at Pokemon Unite, a game that needs constant service to be, playable. And I mean, and quite honestly, they've been very attentive to the game. It's been. I'm not gonna say super successful in the worlds of MOBA, but definitely more successful than people expected.
Oh, for sure. Well, like I have several friends who are like into League of Legends, and they have so many opinions about the game. It's like, I mean, mostly bad because they're like, it just needs to be League of Legends with a Pokemon skin, and I'm like, I can't argue with them, but I'm like, they're trying to do their own thing, and there's several different ways that Pokemon could try and balance the game outside of like sticking to traditional MOBA rules. But yeah, it's like it's definitely captured their attention in ways that like the other games haven't. It's definitely I think it's definitely taken a slice. I'm not contradicting because obviously like it's not on the Esports channel yet. Like it's not just like we don't have gigantic Pokemon Unite tournaments yet on like airing on Disney. But I think it's taken a nick out. It's taken a chip out of the MOBA audience.
As much as people say they want to be like League of Legends, I think the biggest plus that Pokemon MOBA has, it's their 10-minute matches. No other MOBA does that. It's like you can theoretically play, several matches over the course of an hour versus, a League of Legends match which takes, 45 minutes to an hour. It's like, at least in Pokemon, it's like, this is going south. I got 3 more minutes of this.
Right.
And, Jared, real quick. I don't blame you for not knowing this because it happened this week. But Pokemon Unite Esports League officially became a thing this week.
Well, I admit my wrongness.
Remember when I told you I wanted to get back in Pokemon Unite? That's why.
I see now.
Yes, people, this is a plug for them. I'm not getting paid for this, but they have now the Pokemon Unite Esports Championship League, wherever the hell they're calling it. You can follow it on Twitter for information, and win money. So yes, Jared.
I was like, this isn't a plug at all, but I'm going to turn around and I'm sponsored by.
So Jared,
follow the Beedrill buzzers. I don't know. All the teams have to have Pokemon names, right?
Ooh, I didn't. Ooh.
Remember that like one episode of Pokemon the anime where they covered baseball?
Oh yeah, and that chick was down for the whatever Electabuzz. I forgot whatever city they were from.
Right.
But they were the Electabuzz.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird, like, surreal moment in like my mind. And now as you're bringing it back, because I was like, whoa, like if we lived in the Pokemon world, like this is how sports teams would be called.
True. It's so lame that like our Houston basketball team would just be unironically the Team Rockets. It's like everybody knows they're corrupt, but it's like, this is just the font. I don't know.
Yeah, Team Rocket's always been fun. Like there's been like in between the originals and Gold and Silver, there was things where someone had to know Team Rocket was running this, right? Like it didn't seem like a well-kept secret.
Like I feel like everybody knew Giovanni was the leader, but they were just like powerless to stop him because he just commanded power.
And they're like, "Isn't that Giovanni? Isn't he? Like, what are you gonna do? What are we going to do about it?"
We're gonna get him on tax fraud. He used Persian's payday too many times, I think.
That would, what? There's someone writing that fanfic right now after you said that.
That sounds like a very boring fan fiction. Oh yes, I'm really into accounting fan fiction.
No, the fan fiction would be like looking at like trying to take Team Rocket down, but like in a real world way, like that.
More like a 1920s noir, like we're gonna get them.
And they incorporate the story like, oh man, this kid busted up Slide Cope, and I was able to get the information. That was it. After Slide Cope, they raided the building and it got like.
Without paper, if you got a paper trail.
and that's when the CEO of Slycoat went down. And this is why the remember when the train couldn't be funded. This is why, because they were going through legal troubles. And see, look, there it is. We're halfway there.
All just coming together.
Yeah. But okay, so I wanted to play Pokemon Unite just so we can be real life Pokemon trainers and win like $10,000, even though we wouldn't be nowhere near as good to win the whole Shaboodle. I mean, who knows? But now I'm just like, maybe I just want to be part of Pokemon Unite to have, to be the Beedrill Buzzers. It wouldn't be that, but now I'm just like, what would the team name be?
There you go. So if you get a full team of 4, you need a 5th. I'll join in, and we're on the condition that we get a cool, snappy sounding Pokemon name.
Oh man, and now I'm just in it for the aesthetics. I'm just like, we get the team jerseys. You could be J-Dog. I know you wouldn't be J-Dog, but
there's so few ways to nickname my name. It's great. We can get again, not a plug, but the Pokemon clothing company, and we all wear those fabrics.
Oh man, yes. Well, I guess you just be Toon Velo. I guess they're just
classic handle.
We could take the cool look at us. We're posing like we're tough, but this is really just an esports thing. Like, man,
have the compression Under Armour and the sports jersey and the energy drinks.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think we could do it because 90% of winning in Pokemon Unite is just being able to have a surefire way of talking to your teammates. Like, it's just like, all right.
And that was why I got out of Pokemon Unite. And this is where I think it fails the most, is I get they're trying to be friendly towards kids, and they have a little in-game chat, but it just doesn't work. I need to be able to talk to my teammates. Because half the time, first of all, half the time I'm like, go to center. I'm like, that was a misclick. I wanted people to go to top. And I go to top, it was, oh, don't spam, please. Please be polite and wait 30 more seconds before you communicate again. I'm like, okay, that's how you lose tournaments.
My thing is, I would probably yell at kids, but my thing is like, maybe I could just educate. Like, hey, maybe you have no friends who play this game, and you're not really sure what's going on. Let me just aid you. And while I'm aiding you in what to do, we will also maybe possibly win.
It's like, hey, Elder Gloss is a support defense role. You seem to be trying to attack with it. Don't.
Even though I have seen we had a third who was a very good attacker with Elder Gloss. Like, he played his role, but I swear no one escaped alive.
I mean, kudos for them then. Kudos.
But enough about Unite. So, damn, you know what? I'm gonna do the horrible thing of start playing again this week, and then just probably stop playing once I realize I keep getting paired with randoms, and all I do is die, and I'm sad now.
My mother has it's not really a saying, but she has this thing she does with buffets. She hates buffets. She does not like anything about them. But every year or two, she's like, "How do you go to buffet?" And then she goes, and she's like, "Oh, right, this." So I feel this is gonna be your buffet, Odell.
It probably is gonna be my buffet.
You're like, oh right, people don't know how to play. You just put it back down.
So one of the big things going on now is that people are damn near demanding that we get a Legends 2, a Legends Kanto, Johto. I guess if we're keeping up with the trend, it would be like, well, no, it's weird because, okay, let me step back. We can't have those because everyone in this game seems to refer to the other regions as we already know them.
Sure.
It seems like Sinnoh is the only place that was called something different. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they've said Kanto specifically in the game. And then maybe the other regions, they just hinted so you just know where it is, but they seem to already be named what we know them as. But anyway, people are basically demanding a Legends 2 and what form that would take. And I really don't think we're gonna get one, Jared, or at least no time soon. And when no time soon, I mean like years from now. In the same sense that Pokemon Snap got a sequel years from now, or its original release.
It's like you not off topic, but it's like if there were to be a sequel, like how would they do it? Is what you got me thinking about. Like I feel it would have to be like Legends of Giratina, and it still takes place in like Hisui, but it's like Giratina pulled you through, and it's again kind of weird and backwards. But I mean that's the only like parallel to like Arceus.
So you think we would have to remain in Hisui and just have a sequel in Hisui, or
Well,
maybe
it'd be a different Hisui because space-time dimension warping, multiverse, whatever.
But you wouldn't see us being in a different region, nonetheless.
Right. I don't think it could be a different region.
That's interesting because I'm just thinking of stuff. Well, the sequel could be how Hisui became Sinnoh.
That could be a thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that
definitely. What was I gonna say? So, like, definitely something I kind of wish this game had elaborated on more. Now, I haven't beat the game, but I've gotten pretty far through. Is I enjoy watching the town being built slowly more and more. I kind of would like to do more of that in the Pokemon game, or be able to like direct it more. Like I had really fun time way back when is Final Fantasy Crown Builder. King. Ooh, do you remember what this game is called, Bill?
King for a Day.
And basically, like you were the king of the town, and so like you got to direct like the construction of this town. Like, oh, I really want you had to manage like, oh, we need a white college here in this residence to build more white mages and like all these sorts of things. So I thought,
my life is king.
There you go. But yeah, so it's like definitely if it's a sequel asterisk, I think it needs to take another direction, which I guess arguably then is it even a sequel, or would it be its own thing?
If they got like I guess ambitious, and this is just saying like we were still in Hisui, and let's just say this is still somewhat in the same timeline as the original, just some X point in the future. I guess you could go around, setting up that became the future cities in the game. Like Jubilife Village is now a bigger village, but now we need other villages. That
would be very, very cool. Definitely.
So, we end up with Hearthstone Village and Veilstone Village, and you see these slowly build up, and then, routes start to form. And,
Really lean, actually, it'd be kind of cool, is like if we could lean more into like the Breath of the Wild component. So, like, like you said, as your routes are forming, you see people actually, like, traversing, and then you could actually get involved in more Pokemon battles. It's like people get, like, mugged, or, like, wild Pokemon start attacking random, like, travelers.
Jared, we're asking for too much. It sounds amazing, but we're officially asking for too much.
And then you could just go straight to Ganon and just, like, beat him with Mewtwo.
Have you seen the meme where it's Arceus quest away to defeat Ganon? I don't know if I don't think I should, but like I saw that, it could not stop laughing.
Oh, it was great.
Also because I think it's the guy who upgrades your bag in the picture who gives you the quest, which makes it even better.
Ooh, that guy is an extortionist.
Honestly, if Quest 1 was catch all Pokemon, that would have been great. Like that was
pretty cute.
That would have been a missed opportunity.
Yeah. I agree, but also,
Enjoy it. Okay, fine. It should just been defeat Ganon.
Yes.
Oh. So, in terms of Pokemon spin-offs, what genre do you think they could possibly try to take next? So, we've got MOBAs, we got fighting. Oh, there's already an answer. All right.
Yes.
Sorry. The floor is yours, sir.
Basically, this is not, I forget the name of what it is, but in the same way that Yakuza is basically like, not a dating sim, but it's a role-playing dating sim. Like, that's kind of what I think the next Pokemon spin-off should be.
A dating sim? Are you a Pokemon trying to date a Pokemon, or?
No, well, it's like you're doing all these like tasks, and you're having okay. So this spins off of my mind from like we've introduced the beauty contest several times, but it never really goes anywhere. It's not ever fun. Like you can't become the champion via beauty contest, and you can't like get gems or earn. You can't even earn. So like in the anime, right? Like you could earn your way into like the finals with just the beauty ribbons, and you can't do that in the main game. So in my mind, if you had a whole game around like trying to create the culture of like the beauty contest, so you're going around and you're like, okay, well I need to like help the masseuse like solve their problems so that he'll give like Phoebus a massage, which will increase the beauty, and then like oh I need to like run this errand for the baker so he can have the ingredients for the poppins, and like it just kind of like builds up in my mind like it's Yakuza like infinite side quest / like dating like I finally earned enough money to like buy rouge for my Phoebus. This sort of like thing.
In this game, would you only be a Pokemon coordinator? Like you're a Pokemon coordinator in this game, and you're just doing things to get your Pokemon cute for contests and other little daily life things. Or am I off?
Basically.
Oh, okay.
Basically, yes. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. Or do you have any other things that we could add to this?
Oh, so I've thought about this before. Like that, let's say Gen 9 or what I would consider a fully realized Pokemon game would be you have your usual trainer, gym badges things, but you can legit, like, think of like any RPG, like you can select a class and you could be a Pokemon coordinator. And like there's a whole different route. Like you wouldn't go to the Pokemon League, but you would go to the Pokemon League of Beauty contests.
Right.
And and maybe like post game you can do the other route, or you could change your class, or maybe you could somehow do both. And, maybe like to keep it simple, like you could be a Pokemon coordinator because that's already, a thing in the game. You could be a trainer, same old route, or you could be a something else. I don't know what that something else would be off the top of my head. And then,
breeder.
A breeder. I don't know what the track for that would be, but then yeah. And so trainer, breeder, or, coordinator. And then, you could do the game. And then after you beat it, maybe you could do the other routes. Because I think if you try to do like multiple routes in the main game, it maybe not. Who knows? I don't know.
Right.
And then there's things that can like getting a breeder to help you competitively. Like if you're a breeder, then you can do hidden abilities like easy, and like there's perks and stuff that interact that can help each other. That may be too ambitious, but I've always thought that like, and it says that Pokemon Ranger has a spin-off series, more than one game. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon has more than one game. And I always felt like being a Pokemon coordinator, it wouldn't have to, it wouldn't have to play like it does in the main series. It could be, they can cater it to, it's more interactive or what have you. It just seemed like the natural thing to do. And I never done it.
I would also like, okay, if these are like spin-off games, like we're just going to call them coordinator and breeder. Like, I think it would be cool as if you could really like dive deep into those games, and then they would feed back into the main game. So like, if you were like you're saying, like you like 100% the breeder game, like you can then slap on hidden abilities that are not or other moves that wouldn't normally fit onto a Pokemon, and they would be qualified to pump back into the main games.
Yeah.
I immediately hear everybody in the comments screaming like, but it's going to unbalance the game. I'm like, okay, well, that's a problem to solve, but it's not like a barrier.
No, I don't think it would, because, we always have those breeders in each generation where you can only learn these moves from them. Or, some of them are really good and some of them are just, hey, it can, depending on what you're doing, it could work. So I'm like, as long as it follows that same trend, like none of these are just breaking. It's like, you could get someone who's a breeder to put flamethrower on your insert Pokemon here, versus you can either try to breed it into it like for 30 hours, or maybe it just doesn't exist. But it's flamethrower. It's like, it's not going to break the game no matter who's it's on.
I've got several tangential thoughts. One was like, because again, like there's been several event Pokemon that you just can't get those moves for. So this would be a great way, like we could reintroduce basically pseudo event Pokemon. It's like, yeah, like we already know this exists. Or again, those Pokemon that have been like lost to the dream world. It's just like, okay, we know they exist. How do we reintroduce them? But then also like as a complete tangent. So I'm first and foremost very, very grateful how easy and convenient Pokemon has made breeding in the recent games. So much easier, so great. On the flip side, my ego was like, it used to be like, I used to be like so proud, like, oh yeah, I bred this and worked at this for like several days or hours to try and get like all these things fit together. But now it's like, yeah, move tutor, fixed. I'm like, eh. So I thought about like, how can we elevate breeding again? And I was like, ooh, we should introduce like multi-generational moves. So it's like, yeah, okay, if your grandparents were like a Charmander, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw out things. A Charmander, a Jinx, a Bulbasaur, and like if you combine like these things together, then the grand Pokemon will be capable of learning like this unique move or something that it wouldn't normally be able to. You're like, oh yeah, I'm a Charmander on my grandfather's side or something.
Like this way of being like, man, this guy not only is like an OG of Pokemon, but is really dedicated to like still have this move going.
Right, because it's like I want something to distinguish me from like all the other players. Are like, here's my team of 6 shiny legendaries. I'm like, okay, neat.
Yeah. Well, those people, is usually like, well, clearly, sir, your team is hacked. Shame on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I know what you mean. So breeding has gotten easier. Asterisk. The easiest been in Sword and Shield. I wouldn't say it's super easy, but it's definitely to a point now to where, like you said, you don't have to work quite as hard. You could put some effort in and be like, yeah.
I mean, the fact that we get like mint now in order to just change the nature, it's like, oh well, okay, nothing. The hidden ability capsule. Oh, okay, just whatever.
The thing I don't like about mints is the reason I don't use them, and I mean they are cool. Your Pokemon's nature doesn't actually change, just like the stat that goes up and down. So like it freaks me out because like timid, it's like why are you attack up and like special attack that what? Well, like my brain can't. It's like this is not right. This is not how it should be.
Right, but that's like right. It's like oh, so then you can't breed them again, which isn't. I don't think that's again a high enough like consequence or like. Because it's like, yeah, well, once I have like my perfect Roserade, I don't care that it can't breed asterisk because like I'm done. I'm done breeding.
I will say the only good thing I see about like bottle caps, which I'm okay with bottle caps because they're still to this day really hard to get.
Right.
Like a golden bottle cap is something you get like once or twice, and that's kind of all you get. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, when you get a shiny and it's like, okay, crap. Like this is a shiny of something and it's like, oh crap, it's slightly not right. It's like, okay, this is where like those things where I'm like, okay, I can tweak this just right.
We can fix you perfectly. See, on the topic of spin-off games and such and everything, I have this pie in the sky like dream that all the shinies I've got in Pokemon Go, I will super train and make them right in the real games. I've yet to do any of that, but it's just like this aha moment in my head.
I know that there's some random algorithm or whatever that spits out how Pokemon Go Pokemon look in the main game, but I'm just like, they're always so trash. Like it's like 0 on 4 IVs, the worst stats ever, the worst nature imaginable, and I'm just like, it almost feels intentional. Like you're telling me no Pokemon from Pokemon Go is worth anything.
I've gotten some that are like okay, but that's like, but then they have like no HP and no speed. I'm like, neat.
It's like cool. So what I find interesting about like let's say the bigger spin-offs, which I guess are core titles, Let's Go and Legends, is that they bring something so new. So before that, I think let's talk about the elephant in the room real quick because Diamond and Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl just recently got an update this week. And the GWS in Jubilife City is not available. And some of the things in Jubilife Tower, like the records machine, are still not available. So I think it's safe to say that the Pokemon company did not care about this game, or Alex Studios, the studio that I think they're like the first one to like work on a mainline Pokemon game that wasn't Game Freak, just was in over their head. I don't know which is true. Probably both.
I say, right, as like, first of all, agree, but it showed me that there's something endemic in gaming, like, because we keep getting these remakes or re-releases or remasters, where it's just like, okay, you kind of pumped this through a machine, and this was what was spat out. Like, the other thing is, like, the other game that comes to mind immediately is like GTA, right? It's like, oh, okay, so this looks worse somehow, and the mechanics are how. It's like, we remastered all the like old Simpsons. It's like, okay, you put this through a filter in Photoshop, so now like none of the lines are clean, like because they removed the film grain, but like everything's like pixelated and kind of like less. It's just not great. So it's like, clearly like Diamond and Pearl. It's like you forgot that we can move diagonally, just like, which is like, from what I've seen, like a major source of like a lot of like glitches or like bypasses in the game. It's like, oh, you can't move past the Elite Four.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you didn't bother programming that at all. Okay, cool.
And so the one thing that made me upset about Diamond and Pearl is one of my good friends, me and him, were looking forward to running doubles at the Battle Tower, but there's no co-op at the Battle Tower at all.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, oh, and there's certain features in the game, like base game is fine, asterisk, but now it's like, okay, so all the legendary Pokemon that you can't get, I'm now like, are we ever going to see them? Like, is there going to be an event for them? But also at this point, it's like, do we even care? Because I feel like once Legends released, any amount of caring about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl went almost exclusively out the window.
For sure, like, that game was a placeholder for Arceus in my mind. Like, I was like, this is going to bide the time until this game comes out. And it did. I'll admit, I have not beaten the game because Legends came out, and that's what I've been doing since then.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cool tie-in. I forgot what the quest is called. Something of the Sea. Laventon gives you. It's the Manaphy quest.
Oh, that's what that is. Yeah. It's annoying because follow this quest, and it hovers on Laventon, and I'm like, okay, so this is something I'm gonna have to like investigate.
So I'll save you the time. The answer to how to solve that quest is in the Cavalcade library in Diamond and Pearl.
Okay.
So there's a book that talks about whatever the title of the quest is, the Prince of the Sea, or I forget what there's a book, that you can read on one of the floors that has the same title. That says like the hero journeyed to the coast and did this and had these companions, and then that translates to
okay, that makes sense.
So I was like, I think that it's cool that they, that was foreshadowing and they were looking into that. But the fact that it only exists in that one instance, I feel like if Diamond and Pearl was secretly this secret tie-in to Legends, like this game is really just like it was more of that. Like there was like 10 quests that tied into this, like secretly hidden throughout. I would have been like, okay, that means Brilliant Diamond, this is what it was really meant to do. This is all it ever was.
You know what would have been really, really cool is if, since his series in the past, if you accomplished certain tasks in Legends of Arceus, once you accomplish that task, something would unlock in your file in Diamond Pearl. Because it's like you did something in the past. Like that would have made a really cool tie-in. And nothing like game breaking, but like we're saying, like the legendaries that are missing. It's like, so, Darkrai and things like, oh, he was gone until like, oh, I did some, I don't know. I don't have a good example of a quest, but it's just like,
okay, here's my far-fetched idea that so you could do something like leave certain Pokemon like somewhere, right? Be like, like I'm going back to my time or whatever. Like I'm gonna leave my Pokemon here in this Pokeball to be watched over, and they're passed down, and that's how you like pass the new Pokemon to the presents, and then Diamond and Pearl connects to home, and like you go somewhere in Diamond and Pearl's like you found the old storehouse. It seems like people haven't been here in centuries. Like here's a Pokeball. Do you want to take it? And then and maybe it's like you can only do this with like the new Pokemon, or there's there's some crazy, and there's like some crazy cool like significant like Arceus appears and gives it to you, and it's like here's a Cleavor, like a Pokemon that was lost into the sands of time, or just
right.
There's like 100,000 ways you can go with it, but
right. Because that is my one lingering, not dislike, but concern about Arceus. Is like, so will these Pokemon ever be able to escape this game?
I assume they have to. There's no way. There's too many new / forms. If it was just like if it was just new Pokemon forms, I can see it just staying in the game. Like we haven't introduced new Pokemon, just new Pokemon forms, then maybe they could just be like whatever. But since there's legit just this Pokemon did not exist before, there's no way they just stay in this game.
Right. Well, like even if they just kept this like alpha Pokemon, like okay, we've seen alpha Pokemon before, they're untradeable, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Ursaluna, and just like just all the not totem Pokemon. I'm still thinking Sun and Moon because alpha types. But all the oh god, what are they called?
Not the Warlords, the
Lords.
The Warden Pokemon.
Right.
Are they called the Warden Pokemon? No, the Wardens look after the Guardian.
The Wardens look after the Lords.
Lords.
Right. It's like Lord Electro, Lady Lilligant.
Yeah.
Right. It's like because all of them are new Pokemon. Asterisk. Are they? Yeah, close enough.
Well, weird ear, wide ear.
Right.
Well, he's not a lord. He's like just one of the.
He's a lord.
Okay.
He's just one of the frenzied ones.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Right. I'm trying to think of the numbers real quick before we get a lot of comments. Right. So a significant number of Pokemon are prominent and new.
Yeah. Real quick, spoiler alert, you have to evolve Ursaring during a full moon. But now that I'm thinking about it, its name was Ursaluna. I'm like, okay. I don't know why. Like once I heard full moon, I was like, oh yeah, Ursaluna. Like the Luna just never stood out to me until I found that out.
Okay. Full moon, fair enough. Specific location, we've seen that before, but where? With a specific item. Okay, you're really making this hard on us. You're making this unnecessarily hard.
No, my thing is like use this move in a certain style 20 times. I'm like, never would have naturally done that. I mean, maybe if I was training this Pokemon, I would have naturally hit that count. Maybe. Because I'm not... First of all, you don't battle a whole lot, so...
Really don't. And overall, like, agile versus strong has not, like, made a difference for me. Honestly, the only time I have legitimately used the style differences is when I'm using a status move. I'm like, really, really use Hypnosis so that they really are asleep. Thanks.
I'm not going to go into it, but me and my good friend Abdallah Smash, Jared knows him from many Apaxes, we were talking about how strong and agile style is frustrating in the sense that, okay, I use agile style. They attack twice, now we're back to regular attack order. Wait, what? Then why did I use, like, or sometimes it's like, you switch, you attack. It almost just seems so random how many times you attack versus your opponent and in what order.
I just had a battle where I fainted their Pokemon. And so I'm like, this should be... I think when the Pokemon faints, it should start the turn cycle over again. But I used a strong move, fainted their Pokemon. New Pokemon came out. Quick attack, / quick attack. They attacked 4 times. And I was like, okay, that's got to be wrong, right? That can't be correct.
And also, I'm just like, okay, I use agile style. You use agile style. What happens now?
It's a wash.
Like, or the times it's like, cool. For me, it's like, ooh, I switched and attacked twice. This seems unfair to my opponent.
But like the only time I think agile and strong make a big difference is like if you're trapped in like a horde battle. I'm like, okay, I really kind of want to pop off two of these Pokemon real quick. Otherwise, it just kind of janks with what my perceived turn order is.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, most of the time, I was just like, I'll attack when the game tells me I can attack. That's what I do.
Right?
I'm not smart enough, apparently, to figure out what in the world is going on.
Like even though I have the UI, it's like telling me the order. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't make intuitive sense.
It's funny. I've seen the order sometimes. Like, I turned it off because one time I had it on and it was like, you will attack. They're attacking 3 times. You're attacking twice. Then they attack 2 more times. I'm like, the hell is this? Because in this game, your Pokemon can't survive more than 2 or 3 attacks. Like, every Pokemon goes down in 2 or 3 attacks.
Oh, yeah. When I first started the game, and it's like, yeah, here's your little relic with like 80 HP. I'm like, oh my god. Like, this is either going to be really easy or really difficult.
Yeah, no, it's like, you got smacked. Okay, it's cool. You know, my old Pokemon brain. I'm in the yellow. I can survive. You got smacked again. Well, damn.
I feel so bad. I'm trying to get my Zoroark to be like, it's my weakest member because I've just added it. I'm like, I feel so bad. You keep fainting. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me.
Oh, and your Pokemon gain 0 XP if they faint at any point in the battle, which is frustrating.
We can't revive them and they just gain XP.
No, like, let's say, like, okay, I'm fighting a Pokemon. Like, let's just say they have 4 Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
And this one Pokemon kills all 3, dies on the 4th. He gains no XP. I mean, you would have to use a revive while the battle is still happening.
Okay, but that's how the game has always been played.
Well, no, because after you knock out one Pokemon, you get your XP right then and there. This, you only get XP once the battle finishes.
Oh, that's right. I don't think I haven't really noticed because everybody is like, oh, challenge me versus my one Pokemon. And I'm like, hey, you do realize I have a team of 6, right?
No, I only noticed because I was trying to do the same thing, like train up a Pokemon. And I was like, oh, you just can't participate in the battle because if you die at any point in time, then everything I've just done is useless.
That's right. That's weird. Interesting.
Man, you know, the land of Hisui, which I finally learned how to say. Like,
how have you been saying it?
Different each time. Like, I just been forgetting. Like, when I look at it phonically, my brain goes, what is that?
Fair enough.
Like, Hisui and Hussein, not Hussein.
Hisuian,
yes. Ugh. Speaking of that, I have a hard time saying, not in forms like Cantonian, Jotonian,
Kentucky,
Honinian,
Hoenn. Oh wait, no, it just. I feel like that one should just be Hoenn, right? A Hoenn type.
Honinian,
Honenite.
Who Ventonian?
Honevilles.
I want, you know what, Homevilles, that's canonical. Look at my Honevilles. I don't know if any Hoenn Pokemon. Well, yeah, Zigzagoon. Look at my. You know what? No. Talk about a topic. I'm gonna look this up. I need to know. The people need to know. People, you don't know.
People need to know. Well, it's like, okay, so I think the one spin-off game we haven't talked about yet is Pokemon Cafe.
Ooh, yeah, it's the mobile game. If you never heard of Pokemon Cafe, I don't blame you. I only heard about it like last year.
I heard about it literally today.
Oh, it's Honinian.
Honinian.
Hoennian.
Interesting.
I was not far off.
You weren't far off, no.
I don't know. I like that word, Honinian.
Honinian. It almost sounds like an insult, like, you Honinian. I'll get you next time, you
I
Honinians.
mean, have you not seen the Honinian Zigzagoon? I think it is.
You know, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, but yes, Pokemon Cafe.
But yeah, it's a cute little game. I don't understand. It feels like it should just be right up everybody's alley. But you told me, oh, spoilers or to drop the fourth wall. You told me before we started recording. You're like, it's not doing well in America for some reason.
I don't know why.
Right, like it's low. It's right there with the classic match or like the ball shooter games, and as far as my understanding of people posting things on Facebook, like that's what I think people should be into.
And I think it's like two games in one because like you're also running a cafe and like how good you do in the game, like relates to how good your cafe is going.
Right?
And I think that's cute in the sense that like Candy Crushing them, there's no other aspect of it. It's just like here's a score, be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the actual cafe part that's like dragging the game down for American audiences.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because you know what? Americans have a hard time understanding what the hell a cafe is to begin with.
Right? I'm sorry, people aren't just writing their thesis in here and offer their one copy they bought.
for our non visual, just our audio only listeners, like Jared took a unscripted sip of his tea and or coffee when he said that. I don't think he meant to do it, but it was very on brand.
Yes.
But yeah, like that game has not done well in America. I mean, it's done extremely well overall. Like, I mean, America is not the world, people. I know it hurts to hear that for my
Wait, since when?
but yeah, and that's crazy because I think about, I'm like, man, that's cool. Like even the Pokemon games that you really haven't heard about, still have an audience. So I guess looking into the future, Jared. Yes, please, yeah, your future site right there. Which is now actually a scary good move. Go Future Sight. But, the next Pokemon announcement. Core title. And when I say core title, I mean the Gen 9 announcement. Or we just get another spinoff. What do you think's happening on Pokemon Day?
Okay, let me ask this question that you might know off the top of your head. When was Sword and Shield released?
Ooh. Assuming in November. That's usually how it goes, right?
I mean, like the year.
2019.
It was really
November
2019.
15th.
So I feel that's right in line for another game, actual game. That being said, like, because a core game is released, I feel like every 3 years or so, right?
Right.
And, you can be like, well, we got, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I'm like, well, it's kind of a remake. It's not really a huge core game. And then it's like, and we got Legend of Arceus, which had new things in it, but isn't really a core game. So it's like, we're kind of overdue for one. But on the other hand, we did just release two, like if Diamond and Pearl and Arceus could be like fused together into like the effort of one core game. So I'm going to say the next game that's going to be released is a spin-off game, not a solid core game.
All right, here's just, pure speculation. New spin-off game or a sequel or continuation of a current spin-off series?
Ooh, that is more difficult. I'm going to say that okay, maybe this is a bit cynical. In this day of quick dollars, I'm going to say it's going to be some sort of sequel to something. I don't think it's going to be Legends of Arceus 2, Legend of Giratina, but something's going to get spun off. Further.
If it had to be a sequel to something that already exists, I'd be cool to Let's Go Johto with less Pokemon Go-y things.
That feels very likely. Yes. That feels incredibly likely. Let's go, Johto.
Yeah. But Pokemon also is a subsidiary of Nintendo, which means they kind of follow Nintendo's line of doing just not what anyone wants, but just whatever thing that no one ever asked for or could imagine, we'll do that.
So what you're saying is we're getting Pokemon Warriors.
Yes. Pokemon Dynasty. Oh, God.
Warriors.
It's so outlandish, it feels real.
You're like, that doesn't already exist? Wait a second.
Like, does it? Oh, God, I feel like it should, but if it doesn't, dear God, it's about to.
Dynasty Warriors.
Please already exist in some form.
I mean, there was Pokemon Conquest, which was kind of.
I mean, that was first of all, it was great, and a very fun RTS.
I wasn't trying to like poo-poo on it or the Warrior games, but like it's not. It's on the DS, so it's not. It could never have been like the full capacity of what a Warrior game is. So like if they wanted to, that would also so Pokemon Let's Go Johto or Pokemon Conquest 2.
Pokemon Conquest 2 would be amazing. I'll be on board for that. It'd be happy for me. But Jared, I want to thank you for joining me this week. Thank you for returning. I know you're a busy man, and I'm gonna tell y'all secret people, Jared doesn't like podcasting no more. But I'm still happy you joined me. And where can the people find you, keep up with you, all that good stuff?
You can find me Twitter at Toonbailo, TOONBAILO.
And you can find the show at FC Podcast 23. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Shout out to all the patrons and supporters of the show. Remember, you can like, share, subscribe for free 99. So do that if you feel like it. And of course, you can find me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media. As always, everyone, have a great weekend. Be blessed. Bye.